Steven here, wanting to record another one of my Rosen Rants. And my message goes out to progressive sales executives and training and development people. There are so many conversations I have with folks who are what I would say very progressive, and they're implementing leadership development programs for their sales managers, their sales executives. And what they tell me is very interesting, is that they've really delivered some great training. In fact, the managers have had accolades. It's been the best training they've ever had. And then I asked them, okay, how's that gone? Like, what's happened in the last 6 months since you've implemented this wonderful program that everyone was very excited about? And I think we all face the same problem. That 6 months later, after you've done wonderful training, even less than 6 months, your managers go out and try to, coaching was the example. They try to go out and coach, they get frustrated, and they forget and go back to their old ways. Okay? So, we all read and we all know that if we get great sales management coaching, the promise that comes from the CEB in their 2003 study is that you will have 19% more sales from going from poor coaching effectiveness to highly effective coaching. So the problem is, 50% of companies are doing nothing. And I talked a bit about that in my last rant. But the 50% I feel kind of bad for them, because they're all sort of telling me the same experience, that they've implemented, they've tried, but they're not reaping any of the benefits. And who do I blame for that? Well, I blame you. One, because you're accepting that in terms of your supplier delivering training. But I also blame the training industry, who knows that it's not about training leaders. It's about coaching them, mentoring them, really helping them develop. And if you still, as a training company, even a global training company, if you're just delivering training, then you're shortchanging your customer. And if you're the customer and you're accepting that from your training vendor, then you should be ashamed, because you're better to do nothing, because at least you save money and you can do other things. Okay? Programs that have a 1 or 2 day training may feel really great, and we know that training is an event. Development, we have to look at differently. Okay? And what I've learned is companies that take the time to plan out not just the training needs, because we all do a good job assessing our training needs. And then we source suppliers who deliver great training. And I think, wow, I wish I could deliver as good training as some of these companies. And then no one thinks of what happens after. Okay? The trainer checks the box. Hey, I've delivered. I've got the accolades. The managers love it. The sales executive says, hey, you've delivered great training. My sales managers love it. But no one has taken the time to think what happens after. And the fact is, and we all know, whether it's 30, 60, or 90 days after, that anything you learned, if you try to implement and get frustrated or it doesn't get reinforced, dies. And I've learned there's much more to training, or much more to development than just training. And really, I've thought of some solutions to share with you, because unless there is buy-in from the top, and buy-in doesn't mean that you're going to support the course, it means you're going to follow up with the managers. So you need accountability at the senior level, accountability at the manager level, that they have deliverables post-training. They have tools to support their needs, so they can actually go out and build development plans, coaching plans, that they can actually implement, and have sources to help them, or templates, or whatever they have to help them effectively implement. And if you're not coaching and mentoring, meaning the manager of the manager is not doing that, guess what? It dies. So your investment has gone nowhere. So all these great books that I've been reading, how important it is to really develop sales managers, to have your sales managers out in the field coaching, dies. So here's my solution. Number one, you need accountability and buy-in from all levels of the organization, and support through the process, not just the day of the event. Number two, if you're not assessing people prior to doing any training, how do you know if the needle has moved? Three, if you don't have any built-in coaching and mentoring, then you shouldn't do it. I've always said that I never do training without coaching. Well, the fact remains true. If you want to develop leaders, you need to be coaching, mentoring them, pushing them along, helping them. And if there's no deliverables or accountability, guess what? It's a waste of money. So when you look at developing great coaches or developing great leaders, it's much more than training. If you're just looking at a training component, well, as they say in New York, forget about it. And I really mean that. Because if you're not going to do the full meal deal, you're wasting time and energy, and then all you're going to hear is, that was a great 2 days of training. But those are 2 days I'm never going to get back. So if you want to get back your days, you want to get back ROI, you need to look at training in a different mindset and as a development process of 6 to 12 months to create great coaches, to create great leaders. And I look to you as the sales executive, and I look to you as the leadership training development expert, and I look to the sales training industry to start changing their offerings and really giving value to customers. And the value is creating a program that impacts sales. That's the key. Anything else is a waste of time and money. Thank you. Have a great week.